Hello, my name is Liana Kiff. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Query Builder in your Tom Sawyer Perspectives application. The Query Builder tool can be added to a project where you need to give users a way to request specific data from a graph database, but you don't want users to need to learn a complex query language like Cypher or Gremlin. We're going to begin with this project that I previously created. We're using a Neo4j integrator that connects to a movie database. You'll find a detailed demonstration of our Neo4j integrator in our YouTube library. I'm masking the database connection data so your screen will look a little bit different. The Query Builder only works with graph databases like Neo4j, Neptune, or JaniceGraph, where you have used schema extraction and are adhering to the existing schema in your database. I have previously extracted the schema, so we won't do that again, but you also need to be able to use automatic bindings for the Query Builder, and you want to check this box, Load Missing Nodes for Edges. For this project, we haven't established any query because we're not going to preload any data. Now let's take a quick look at the schema so you can get a sense for the information that we'll be working with. We'll be working with a sample Neo4j database that contains information about actors, directors, and movies. In our example, we're going to concentrate on actors, movies, and the acts in relationship between actors and movies. The Query Builder tool can be added with any view that supports a toolbar. We're going to add it to the toolbar for this drawing view, which I've already defined. We'll look at the default toolbar configuration, and I'm going to collapse the view because I find it easier to find the items that I care about in this fashion. And you can see the query tool is not anywhere in the list. So we're going to add an item. First we're going to add a separator because we'll need that. And now we're going to add the query tool. You'll find it under data. There's the Query Builder. And now we're going to configure the Query Builder to work for our project. The first thing we need to do is add the integrator that we'll be using. We're going to choose our Neo4j integrator. And now you can see that we can also control what kinds of items you can interact with the Query Builder. I'm going to select the ones that are important to our project. That's actor, director, person, and actor, person, and movie, and the acts in relationship. And I'm not going to select the others because we're not going to work with those in this project. The other things that you can change in this configuration are the maximum limit and the default limit for how many items will be returned by the query. And you can also configure other things about the appearance of the item in the toolbar and shortcuts for it. And you can see those configuration options also in the tree. Now that we've added the Query Builder, we're going to move it up to the place where we want it on our toolbar. So first I'm going to move the separator up into position, and then I'm going to move the Query Builder into the spot between the separators. Now let's run the project with preview and see how we can use the Query Builder that we just added to our project. When we click on the Query Builder icon, the dialog pops up, and we can see that there is a field for element type selection. We're going to start with a query for a specific actor, and we're going to search by name. We're going to look for the exact name, in this case Daniel Radcliffe. And the query executed successfully, and here we have our actor Daniel Radcliffe appearing on screen. Now that's not particularly interesting all by itself, so let's add to the data in our view, and let's look for all of the acts in relationships where the name of the character is Harry Potter. And here come all the Harry Potter movies. But it looks like on the right side we have something extra. Let's look at that acts in relationship in the inspector. Turns out there's another Harry Potter character, but that's not the Harry Potter we're looking for. So we'll highlight those and delete them. As we have added items through queries, they are appearing in the tree. If you're interested in how the tree was built, you can refer to our earlier demonstration on drawing templates. Let's try another query to extend this data set. Let's look for the acts in relationships where the character name starts with Bellatrix. And now we get Helena Bonham Carter, and she's connected to the Harry Potter movies where she played Bellatrix. We have been running simple queries with a single parameter. Let's try a more complicated query next. Let's search for other movies that were produced by the Warner Brothers studio. So let's try name contains, starts with Warner, so we don't have to type the whole name. And now let's add another condition. We'll also look for movies where the genre is one of a couple different genre types. In this case, we'll search for other action movies and also comedies. And now we see a large number of additional movies added to our graph and also added to the tree. All new additions appear selected. This highlights them and makes them easy to identify as new nodes in your graph. Before we conclude, let's take a look at a couple other features of the Query Builder dialog. You can choose whether your results must satisfy all or only some of your query parameters. You can add additional parameters, and you can also see the query that's produced with the selections you've made. In this video, we reviewed how to configure and use the Query Builder tool in a Tom Sawyer Perspectives application. The Query Builder gives your users the tool to explore graph data without learning complex graph query languages. Thank you for joining us. Contact Tom Sawyer Software today to start your free trial of Tom Sawyer Perspectives.